this is Africa right here. And at 12 p.m. Universal Time, the sun will line up with Africa. It always lines up with Africa at 12 p.m. Universal Time. To prove this, we can go to timeanddate.com and go to 12 noon Universal Time any day of the year. This is December 22nd here, but we can go back 4 weeks, and it doesn't matter what day it is. At 12 noon, it's going to show the sun will line up with Africa. December 22nd at 12 noon, it shows the sun right here. The Earth is rotating. It takes 24 hours to make one full rotation for the Earth to go all the way around back to the point it started at. We've all been taught the Earth rotates all the way around for 24 hours, and that makes a day. And if you ever have somebody who wants to get technical with you, they're going to say, oh, it's actually not 24 full hours. But tell that to every clock you've ever had, because every clock I've ever had or seen counts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The only time we ever change any time is when we fall back or spring forward, and that's just an hour, and it kind of balances out. So I want to take a look at 12 p.m. Universal Time, because that means the sun is directly in line with Africa, and it's always directly in line with Africa, like I've just shown. This day in particular I've got pulled up is December 22nd. December 22nd is the winter solstice. And as you can see, right here would be Africa, and it's in line with the sun, just as it should be. December 22nd during the winter solstice at 12 p.m. Universal Time, this is correct. The sun would be directly overhead. If you notice though, during the winter solstice, the sun would be to the east or to the right of Earth, because we're going around the sun as well as rotating. Well, if we look at this, it shows December 22nd at 12 noon. The sun is exactly where it should be, and that's where it always is. This is June 22nd at 12 noon. The sun is still exactly where it should be. It's still right above Africa. Here's the problem. On June 22nd, during the summer solstice, Africa, if we are rotating in 24-hour periods, unless something has changed somewhere and changed drastically, like somehow we have lost or gained 12 full hours, Africa is facing space. It won't be facing the sun. If we are living on a globe and the globe is rotating in 24-hour periods every day, just like all of our clocks say, every clock you own counts 24-hour days, and presumably each and every day when it's noon in your time zone, wherever you live, the sun is supposed to be directly above you. Yet what we observe here is this is correct, but this completely falls apart as our Earth going around the sun gets to the opposite side of the sun. When the sun is to our west or to our left and not on the east or to our right, it's the opposite. The sun will be lighting up this half of the Earth, not this half of the Earth. Presumably, all of these Earths on this picture is at the same phase of their rotation around the axis, because we can see the same thing, right? If it's 12 noon Universal Time over here, it should be 12 noon Universal Time over here too, except for Africa is facing space. So it's like Africa is at midnight, and it's not facing the sun. But what we observe on June 22nd at 12 noon is Africa is facing the sun. Does this make sense to you? This is blatant proof that we are not on a spinning globe going around the sun. We can't be. There's no way that these globes can be in the same phase of their rotation, because it's the same time, and 12 noon has Africa facing space. It has to be facing the sun. There's no way around it. This to me proves that we are not spinning. Unless somebody is breaking in all of our houses and changing all of our clocks like 4 minutes a day each night, so somehow it's midnight for Africa over here, then the globe's a lie. And it has to be, and there's no way around it. Please, if there's a way around it and you can debunk this, make a video and show us all how this is incorrect. I would love to see it. Because if it's going to go to this, if this is what your video is going to be about, tell that to every clock I've ever owned. Because they all just go to 24 hours a day. And no clocks take this into account. And the sun is still above our heads at noon every single day, as it's always been for the last 6,000 years.
Occam's razor states that the simplest explanation is probably the correct explanation. So let's see how that applies to a globe ball 24-hour time zone map. If anyone was to Google world time zones, they would find only flat maps describing the 24-hour time zones of the Earth. And if you scroll down, you see nothing but flat Earth maps. Isn't that interesting? Now, if we were to maybe say, well, maybe it's global world time zones, again, all we see are flat maps. Here's a time zone map of the world, all right? It's on a flat map. And if we scroll down a little further, they show a cute little clock that can only work on a flat Earth. So here is just proof evidence conclusively that we do not live on a round spinning ball hurtling through space at thousands of miles per second and all the rest of the rubbish that we've been told and sold over so many decades. So here I just took an orange representing the round ball global Earth, and I divided it into 24 sections. 24 sections at the equator, which represents the 24 time zones on Earth, 1 hour at a time. So this is the exact same orange. I drew the lines of 24 sections around a round ball Earth and drew them up to the North Pole. And my simple question for everybody who believes we live in a heliocentric round ball Earth, can you please tell me, what time is it at the North Pole as we spin around? Is it 12 o'clock? Is it 2 o'clock? Is it 11 a.m.? Is it 11 p.m.? Works the same on the other way if we do have a South Pole. I didn't draw the lines in, but you get the idea. Simply proven, very easy to do. We do not live on a round ball, folks. It is simply impossible given the time zones.